As the 2019 elections approaches, one of the worries of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, will be providing adequate security. Now, those who will be voting in the elections are also concerned about security at the polls. So it's time to reflect on the nation's security challenges and the way forward. Joining me on the news at 10, Mr. Okbola Taiwo. He's a retired Assistant Commissioner of Police. Thank you for joining us on the news at 10.
Good evening.
Glad you could make time to be with us tonight. So we see the Inspector General of Police deploying at least 2,000 men to the northeast region to boost security there and also to participate in Operation Lafia Dole. This area was one of the main concerns during the 2015 general elections. Does that suggest, the deployment of more police officers up there? Does that suggest there are fears that this, whatever happened in 2015 could recur in 2019?
Good evening, viewers. Naturally, when there is a war, there must be police presence. When the military fights, the police will come in, and when the people see the police, they know the civil life has returned. That is what happened in the Civil War. I was one of those deployed to the military area at that time. So this time around, the military have been saturated with a lot of job, and to at least to give the people some solace that they are no more war, no more problem. So the police now will back up the military and make the situation peaceful and accommodating for the civilians.
It almost sounds like you're saying the military is fatigued because of all the challenges they have been going through, and don't forget the loss they recently suffered.
Naturally, it's just a supporting force that the IG has done. There are a lot of things that the military cannot do while on the war front. The peace and making people feel comfortable at home. It is the real job of the policeman, So what he really want them the civilian to know is that the war is going to an end and the police are coming in to support the system.
People need to know that, especially in the Northeast, of course. With everything that has been going on, people need that assurance from security agencies that, things are returning to normal. But there are still a couple of other threats, pockets of, conflicts in some parts of the country, some areas where you have insecurity and so on. What do you think can be done differently now that the police is fully involved, in helping to, not that they were not, but now, the challenge has changed, and so the strategy must also change.
Naturally, the peacekeeping is police major duty. And I've said this severally on TV and, that as they are fighting the war, because the police we have, they are not enough to keep the peace behind the war zone, So they need to employ massive, to make a massive recruitment, which of recent, I'm just seeing it in the paper that they are recruiting.
Yeah, there's the recruitment
so
going on.
When they recruit and they train these people, they will be the one that, and they should be people from that environment, not people from outside. Because when they see their children as the police officers and all this, they feel at home with them. But when you bring a foreign person, they will think they are coming to enslave them, So with the situation now, things will be better than as it was before.
Some of the elections we've seen this year already have been militarized,
Yes,
and people
yes.
are concerned about that.
Yes,
You
yes.
have elections and you find policemen on the road, you find the military. It does bring some fear, though, to the electorate that, somehow people might be too scared to come out to exercise their franchise.
Yes, we have the system now is that we call them security men because police, the Air Force, the NSDC, all these people are gathered together to conduct election, even including the military. But principally their job is to make sure that the election is peaceful and there's no snatching of a ballot paper. There's no, violence in the polling stations. And the presiding officer is the chief security officer at elections. He gives directives as what to do and how to do it.
Yeah, but is it necessary to have heavy military personnel at
In
polling
advanced
stations?
country, you scarcely see any person in a democratic setting. In advanced country, you will never see a single policeman at the polling stations.
So why do we have them
But
here?
it's because of the nature of our people. The people are so militarized since the war, since the civil war. If you see a child, around a place now, we just carry out, since 1967 that the war is fought, everything has changed. So people became, aggressive and violent and easily agitated. So all these things has contributed a lot. And
so the tensions need to be diffused.
yes, we need to diffuse the tension.
Definitely.
But the system is including the military, the civilians, and it's together,
Okay.
It's fused together.
Mr. Paula Taiwo, thank you so much for joining us
there.
on the News at 10. Appreciate you being here.
All right.